Our guests today are two BAFTA-winning writer-performers, masters of the macabre, let's face it, from redefining British sketch comedy with The League of Gentlemen to the twisted delights of Psychoville and the endlessly inventive Inside No.9. They have thrilled, unnerved and delighted audiences for over 2 decades. They are here today, fresh from the gym, to tell us all about the final run of their stage show, Inside No.9, Stage Fright. Please welcome Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton. Reece, welcome to you both.
Thank you
thanks for
very
being here.
Good morning.
You've done this extraordinary thing. You've taken this TV show, which, congratulations, not that it's news just in, but what a show. I'm dying to know about it. You brought it to the stage. At what point did either of you say, this is stage worthy or stage doable? Because that must have been a massive leap creatively.
Yeah. It was in the beginning, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we always thought that the show would lend itself theatrically to do something live with it. So the episodes were always very like little plays. So we thought that if it had a version of it live, it would suit it, you know. Yeah. So it wasn't a big leap for us to think we should try and do that. And it was because the TV just kept getting recommissioned and we did 10 years of it. So we thought when it finishes, we'll do a live version. And when we eventually had the time to do it, we did. Yeah,
you went live and the response has been
amazing.
Knockout. You knock out. What is it about the live experience that is driving people to the
I think
theaters?
it's a shared communal thing that, you know, especially with comedy, to hear a room of 2,000 to 3,000 people all laughing together and also screaming together and being shocked and gasping together, it's such a thrill for the performers and for the audience as well. And you know, after COVID, we were all a bit nervous that live performance wouldn't bounce back in the same way, but it really has. We've found the audiences have been amazing.
It's funny, things get funnier when other people are laughing around you for some reason, and they can be scary or equal. That shared experience, it's different. You can watch it at home and you might mutter or smile, but when everyone's laughing, you suddenly feel, geez, I'm gonna get started.
Absolutely, yeah, and it's an electric atmosphere is created every night, and you feel like this is the only time this is going to happen. You know, it happens again tomorrow, but it'd be different.
Yeah.
So you have that feeling of this very special communal event, and I think, you know, you leave with the spring in your step when you've seen something good in the theatre.
You do. When you do that, you bounce out going, wow, what was that?
Yeah.
And it is remarkable. We've got loads of messages in from people who've already seen the show, but now they have an opportunity to see it again. I've been dying to ask you both for many years, actually. What were you both readers as kids? Did you like books and did you gobble them up, or were you more TV or movie? What was your thing?
I read as well. I mean, I was quite a morbid little kid. I was Edgar Allan Poe, but then there was a lot of TV. The TV that we only had, which is the 3 channels and Victoria Wood and 2 Ronnies, and you know, that was our staple, and that was what drew us together as friends, our collective shared memories of things that we loved as kids. But we read as well. Yeah, I think. Well, I did.
And you liked Edgar Allan Poe and all
Stephen King, and a lot of horror.
Yeah, a lot of horror
books.
Yeah, Steve, what were you?
Yeah, I remember the Puffin Book of Jokes, which is a classic.
We're still using it.
You're still using it.
And Gobelino the Witch's Cat.
Lovely.
Was the other one I remember as a kid. But reading is so important, and just firing your imagination and thinking about, you know, there's a big mission statement in your lobby, which we were looking at.
That's
as we
all the
came
words,
in. And the last thing says constantly thinking about reinventing storytelling, and that's what it's always been about for us, is how do you tell a story in a different way that keeps the audience surprised and engaged by it.
Well, this is it, and you know, I would have thought Roald Dahl would have featured a bit in your childhood in some shape or form.
Definitely.
And then that natural evolution into Tales of the Unexpected, or his series of books, you know, Kiss Kiss and all these other collections, where you're going,
absolutely,
what? Hang on, we were with the Twits a minute ago.
Yes.
And now it's, you know, it's now we're with you know, Royal Jelly or whatever. Where these creepy. I mean, they definitely. I feel the genetics of those stories in your storytelling.
Yeah, completely.
In everything you've done, the fingerprints of the macabre, obviously, but that sort of other worldliness and weirdness.
Yeah, and a world that you recognise, but then turns into something where you think, I'm glad I'm not in that. That's not happening to me.
Yeah.
And I think that thing where it's very relatable and yet suddenly turns dark is something that people really enjoy, because it's like, we've done lots of number 9s that are quite gothic and a bit otherworldly, but then the ones that stay with you, I think, are the ones that are domestic and feel very real, and then suddenly there's something in it that's an argument escalates into something extraordinary.
That's it. The one I watched last night was the Sheridan Smith one, 12 Days of Christine.
Yes.
Inside No.9, and that was that domestic, but yet it was
you can't quite get your footing as to where this is going and what's happening, and will it all snap together at the end. And that's the best sort of storytelling for us, when it's been in plain sight and suddenly everything is recalibrated and your heart stops, because you suddenly think, oh my God, I get now what's been happening, and it's been fed to me all the way through, but I didn't realise it.
And it's become the language, though. Somebody talks about it, say that's very Black Mirror, that's very Twilight Zone, that's very Tales of Things, but now it's very Inside No.9. Certainly League of Gentlemen as well. Myself and my partner, now wife, went to I think it was Stratford we were in, and to see a Shakespeare play. But sorry to the people of Stratford, but I just definitely got the vibe there of
very local
people. You felt not local.
I did not feel local. I felt like a blow-in.
Yes.
And we were both laughing about it. But when you become part of the lingo, that must be quite strange. Is that a peculiar when people say to you?
It creeps up on you, really, because when we started the League of Gentlemen, no one knew who we were. We had no backing. We had no agent. We went to Edinburgh, and it made an impact. We were lucky enough to win the Perrier Award for comedy.
Yeah.
And then it went to television, like within 2 years of being on stage. So we were playing to audiences of 10, 15 people, and suddenly we're recording our own TV show, and that was terrifying. And it was in the days before social media as well, so you couldn't immediately tap into what people were thinking of it. And now you get opinions left, right, and centre, whether you want them or not. But it's crept up on us, and to hear people saying that Inside No.9 or League of Gentlemen has inspired them is really gratifying to us, I think.
That's the next generation. So Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton are here talking about Inside No.9 Stage Fright, which is, well, like the reality is, just when you thought you could go to bed and say that went very well because you've been touring all year and to huge sold-out houses all over the UK. Congratulations! Did you get to Ireland with the tour?
Not yet.
Not yet. Let's put it a yet.
Yeah.
But you are going to. I was actually only there last month. The Eventum Apollo in Hammersmith for a heap of shows from Friday 2nd of January 3rd. Is that right? Do matinee then on the 3rd as well. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So how did you decide? Let's keep going.
Well, it was the thought that it would finish.
That's what I was going to say.
Let's have Christmas, but then not come back. Well, I think we did decide to end it, and then we I think we thought, well, if there's any way that you could carry on, if anything becomes available, and then careful what you wish for.
Yeah, the hall became free, and
we thought, well, that would be a lovely send off back in London, big venue.
Yeah,
and for people that didn't catch it first time round, it
sounds wonderful. Joe's been on to say, with Steve and Reece being on the show this morning, I want to say how brilliant Stage Fright is. I've been lucky enough to see it twice, once in London, once in Manchester. Blew me away. The first 15 minutes, honestly, the best opening to a play I have ever seen. Are there any plans to film any of the remaining shows, maybe to show it as they do these days in cinema? Are you getting that treatment?
I don't think we are we? I think we felt like it should
special.
remain in the ether, and when it goes like best theatre, it's gone. Yeah, I think we didn't want to slightly put cameras on it in a way that it shouldn't have, because it's meant to be theatrical.
Yeah.
It might slightly expose it a little bit.
Yes, I understand. Okay, and Helen says, delight to hear Reece and Steve on your show. I've been to see Stage Fright twice in Birmingham at the Alex, allegedly the most haunted theatre in England.
Right.
You probably knew that. It was such a gift to see the lads together. And yes, the jump scares got me on the second performance. So don't give too much away there, Helen. But,
on the second performance, not even ready for it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good on her. So that's the nature of it. We were talking during the song there about darkness and humour, and that's really like a lot of it seems to be a lot of where your stuff comes from. And we were talking about Jackanory and storytelling, and people seem to. I think they have the propensity to stick it out. You didn't see people on their phones, or they're happy to watch Inside No.9 on stage. No issues there.
Absolutely, yeah. People have been sort of glued to it. The first half is more comedic. The second half does get quite scary, and we can build an atmosphere atmosphere. And we've loved taking it on tour. We just love hearing, when we're not on stage, hearing the reactions off stage.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. When you think of the kind of the universality of storytelling, I'm jumping around here, but when you think of the League of Gentlemen, that could be any village in Ireland. Could be any village in Wales. Could be. It's while there is an Englishness to your humour, it's everywhere. There's always a creature who's going to emerge from behind a wall when you least expect them to. Everyone knows the guy in the bar who may or may not have killed some. There's always. Tell me about the origins of how did you decide that? Because it could be Father Ted in one sense, and it could be something the Wicker Man in another. It's everything there.
I think you're tapping into something where if you can hit upon this thing where everyone recognises themselves. That's my uncle. Or that's was it based on this teacher that it was in? No, it wasn't at all. But
really?
You're doing something right, aren't you? The way people are plucking out of it and they're laughing at something that is tapping into something they have witnessed. Everyone knows the feeling of going into a shop and feeling under suspicion immediately. and so we did that sketch thinking, because it was an incident that happened to us, and it's lovely when you sort of school people in your humour, and they get it,
straight away,
because it's so particular to you, and you think you're not trying to second guess what people like. But if they get it, that's the best thing in the world, because you've sort of they've come with you on in your particular journey of what's funny.
People talk about the Twilight Zone and things like that. Do you, for Inside No.9, do you want a story to be told with a lesson? A la the Twilight Zone. There was always kind of Rod Sterling
there
with
was
the cigarettes.
Moralistic, weren't they? With Rod Sterling.
Yeah, Reece Shearsmith, a lonely man with a check jacket, and on it goes. Did you have a kind of a vision for the show to tell a story with a lesson, or did you just want to freak people out, or what was the?
It was certainly no moralistic lessons, but we loved the idea of a twist in the tale, or something which, it's interesting that the people who've written in have all said, I've seen this show twice.
Yes,
and there's something about having a final moment which makes you reimagine the whole story, that makes you immediately want to watch it again. And I think that's what has been our passion, is really surprising audiences to the point where they go, now I know what the ending is, I've got to go back to the beginning.
I love that.
And so that's why so many people have come to see it twice. Thank goodness.
Yeah, no, it's such a compliment to what you do, as you say, for people. How did you feel about Taskmaster? Did you watch each other's, or did you?
I saw some of Steve, and that we were asked to do it at the same time, and Steve went first, and it was good to see how he did. It was great. It was such a fun thing to do, just being a kid. Complete opposite to what we do in our lives, where we sit in a room agonising over every detail for months before to fashion this thing that we will eventually film. Taskmaster, you can't prepare for it. You just turn up, open the envelope, get task blindness,
and you're off. I think it's school. You're right. It's like Steve.
So you had your prize tasks, which you could have more thought into, but on the day of the tasks, you just had to do what you thought was funny. Hope for the best.
Steve,
absolutely.
Do you have fond memories of stuff?
Really fond memories of it, and I said to Reece, it is like being a kid again, and you won't do anything that's as fun and that requires no preparation whatsoever, and it's fine to fail. It's absolutely fine to fail, because you might end up winning anyway.
Yeah, and have fun along the way.
And to be stupid,
well, look, can I say thank you on behalf of all our listeners and myself for everything you've done so far? Is there another thing in the pipeline that you're... Well,
we're certainly going to continue writing together. So, yes, we've got a few things that we are mulling over doing next. So
for 2026. So you got the...
Nothing definite, but we just want to do these final shows in January, and then we'll reconsider.
Tickets for the final shows of Inside No.9 Stage Fright. If you're listening to you today, if you don't want to go to that show, you're completely mad. London event and Apollo, available at inside no9onstage.com. Reece, Steve, lovely to see you. Happy Christmas to you both, and thanks for being here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.